better life and a peaceful world.
Well, hi everybody. I am happy to attend the Istanbul conference, and I thank all the organizers of this scientific activity, and I hope success to our meeting. Well, I think about a subject that can be in the main problematic or the main idea of the problematic of this conference, and I was thinking about the socialization of our young people. Well, as scientists, I think that it's urgent to encourage more research in order to find out the reality of our society and the destiny of the near future. We can easily observe the risky way of our development. Our world is noticing problems of hypocrisy, lack of connivance to altruism, violence, unemployment, crime, conflicts and wars. Nowadays we are facing many social problems. A large number of people in the streets striving for winning their lives. Extra children turned out from the school in an early age. A high number of beggars coping with their poverty. More unhealthy people without a home. Can we feel happy in this world, and can we reduce violent conflict and crime? These are main problems that we can face in our daily life, and it may affect a happy and peaceful future of our children and our youth. Thus, it is our duty to act as parents, citizens and social actors and scientists to promote discussions and to question governments and states about the destiny of our children and our youth. The new generation may face difficulties in coping with a world that encourages liberalization and economic and political competition. Well, the main point, I will start with it, is we are facing changes in our society, and we can ask about the destiny of our future. The 20th century represents a dense social, economic and cultural change. We notice and we experience a large number of transformations affecting the daily life of our people. Solidarity among the family has been affected by the changes occurring in new roles and experience that lead more people to be attached to different social worlds. Regarding the life plan of the individual, we have to state that it appears a plurality of roles that the person play, and it may affect the simple life that his parents experienced. We quote here the Peter Berger quotation: modern identity is peculiarly differentiated because of the plurality of social worlds in modern society. The structures of each particular world are experienced as relatively unstable and unreliable. The changes of the societies affected the development of a society full of harmony and solidarity. All the sociologists' theories presents the future as a change that affected the ways of lives and the social ties between the members of the community. For example, Tony's Durkheim presents us a good image of the changes of the society. Well, industrialization and urbanization have affected the rudimentary way of life and have accelerated the speed of development of nations as a new dichotomy appeared in this world. Traditional and underdeveloped countries from one side and developed and modern countries from the other side. But the changes in these societies have led to the appearance of a new technological revolution that increases the production with less use of labor force. This revolution has led to the replacement of the labor force by the machine, and the families of the Western societies has encouraged a new perception of bringing a welfare state to their children by offering to them more opportunities in acquiring, learning and training, and lead to a very high personal expectation to reach a social mobility. The bourgeois ethos, I quote here, the bourgeois ethos of tendencies, what one might call the gentle revolution, has been successfully institutionalized and has penetrated other very high personal expectations, but its structural application in modern society almost guarantees that the expectation will be disappointed. The tendency of the world nowadays is experiencing a new form of economic activities that encourage a tertiary economy that affected the social responsibility of the nations to offer employment to the large army of unemployed youth. Well, the profit and economic relations, rationalities are the main reason of encouraging certain competition for getting richness without taking into consideration other factors such as the social well-being of the people. The deepened social inequality has led to the acceleration of many social problems such as poverty, unhealthy people, violence, crime and segregation. Moreover, the nature of the 21st century has experienced the information society that affected the social reality of the people, as this technology has accelerated the development of new social ties and a social capital that can be virtual and has affected the unity of and solidarity in the local sphere. The technological development represents one of the main factors that disperse these social worlds. The parents are facing a new culture and a new way of doing things. Their children spend more time out of their home, as they are connected in different spaces and times with others who are friends or colleagues. Well, let's ask a question about that more people are searching happiness with striving more opportunities. Due to the appearance of a large number of social problems, young people try to get rid out of poverty and unemployment and hope for a better life, a happy and a stable social life. They strive to get more opportunities to reach a social status in their societies. They spend more time in school to get abilities and skills in order to offer their competence in the labor market. But due to economic changes, the society finds itself unable to demand for labor force, and then more people are facing the unemployment and lack of jobs, mainly the youth category. The unemployed youth consider getting a job as a way to reach certain social stability and to permit them to integrate in their societies. Work has a very significant meaning in the lives of the person that help them to improve and organize their daily life. Thus, unemployment has negative effects on human personality. It leads the majority of jobless persons to practice illegal and criminal acts. At the same time, these practices have nasty consequences on the stability of the family and the unemployed person. For example, due to unemployment, we observe a high number of young people immigrate from the south to the north of the globe, searching for a social status in the hosting country. This mobility has been very visible during this last decade, when a kind of political efforts has been established between the governments of the south and the north in order to get solution. Can we ask ourselves, why do these people immigrate? The answer is clear, that they search happiness and stable lives. The majority hopes to improve their lives and reach a welfare state by getting a stable job. This situation permits them to have good pay and the feeling that their existence in this world has a meaning and a sense, as long as they hope for to reach some substantial results from their work. Getting a job, it may help people to improve their lives, but the question, do it bring us happiness? A large number of social scientists notices that we cannot attach our life only on work, as they represent the work as a factor of stress and the non-benefit of the social life and leisure. This statement is exemplified by the time of work, when workers do not find any moment for distraction. Moreover, the web has, or the internet has extended the time of work over the traditional place of work, and especially among the high-skilled workers. Thus, nowadays, neither unemployment nor employment can satisfy people. More studies make comparison of the way of doing work, manual work and high technology work. They found that in manual activities, maintenance of networks are highly valued. They are spaces of socialization or the teamwork. They provide skilled and non-repetitive tasks. The physical practice integrates the individual in work team. These manual activities value not only the business, but the relations of trust, solidarity, and professional sociability. This statement gives us another time the idea that we cannot reach happiness by spending our lives in working and running towards money. Happiness and peaceful life, we cannot buy it by money. We can be happy and living a peaceful life by feeling that we are useful in our society. As a social actor, by practicing sports, exchanging ideas with youth, by participation in the social and cultural spheres of this world. When we experience unemployment, do we have the right to change our status from an active person to a passive one? Well, let's rethink the education of our children. From these problems, let's think about the education of our children. Education is the key that unlocks the door of social promotion and communication with people. As this communication represents a fundamental social process that organizes our social life. We can progress with an absence of cooperation. We cannot progress with an absence of cooperation and communication. Our social life teaches us that we cannot reach tolerant and humanitarian attitudes. This education may be a social engine that starts its work at an early stage of childhood. It is at this stage that we can inculcate rational and values and norms. Thus, it is the duty of the parents to make effort of transmitting noble education to their children. They are obliged to strive for learning them the right way of doing things and reaching their aims. That is basically interesting matter to recommend people to think about the future of their children and look back to the way they were educated and try to transmit right values of solidarity and help in order to face the problem of individualization in recent societies. Nowadays, regarding the socialization of children, the world parents give more importance to school socialization than to education, to school success, than to emotional development, to the acquisition of the social skills, than to development imaginative and creative faculties. Regarding the instrumental life of our people, we have spent time in educating our children how to reach an economic position in the society. We observe that most students leave the school or the university earlier, as they give arguments or they justify this by that they cannot have a job when they are graduate. Socialization continues to produce individuals frustrated, inadequate, mutilated, lost, as long as we continue to rely on social integration through employment. The integration in a society of workers where all activities are seen as means of earning life. To the social changes and the reality of our societies, the effect of technological development, people are spending less time with their children and they are less investing in the education of our children. They leave all the tasks of education to the school and they do not offer an effort to participate in the education of their children. The school finds difficulties to cope with lacking of parental education. Well, I go to the last idea. Just to think about a happy life and a peaceful world, it is clear that the main point that we have to emphasize in the socialization of our youth is that we have to urge an education that leads to acceptance of the others, which is different from us in matters of language, class, residence, culture, and religion. We have to transmit to the new generation that it is possible to know other cultures, other people, and communicate with them and learn from them what helps us in the future, how to defend our lives and to establish a culture of solidarity, reliance and trust. The future education believes that we have to orient our youth to it is the ability of knowledge. We have to encourage our youth to travel and exchange noble ideas, cultures and norms. Learn diversity not as a menace but as a source of interesting exchange. Nowadays the internet represents a real force that urges for exchanges of experience, culture and diversity. And there is a real technological way that encourages the solidarity of the international people who want a happy life and a peaceful world. This new way of living may review the perception of the people of their daily life and can have a new idea about life that do not oblige persons to attach totally their lives on work, as Robin said. Train your people to think that life is something other than work. We have to learn our youth how to cope with this technology, the technology of internet. It is the duty of the parents to control their children for a better use of this technology. The social net had proved that many people know each other and exchanges their experiences. This has been a new religion that propagated a new culture of rejection, dictatorships, and humiliation. The experience of Arab societies learns us how young people transmitting new culture of democratic way in the world. But we can reach happiness and peaceful world by depending totally on the school or the media. We have to concretely communicate with other people that we have to rely on comprehensive experiences as sustainable solidarity. Sensorio insists on neighborhood as a form of community life that encourages solidarity among families, cities, and gives example of this kind of solidarity among the people of the past. And he claims the new youth generation as they are, not as a powerful dynamic collective as the former one. Well, it is our duty to diffuse new norms of solidarity and help them for decreasing stress, violence, and awfulness among our youth. We have to encourage a primary socialization based on a dynamic of proximate associative host organizations. It is very attractive for individuals to be active in associations in order to help people integrating their societies, to transmit new values of solidarity, consideration, and collaboration. Thank you for your attention, and I'm sorry for being late. Thank you.